your seatbelt! Hey, motherfucker!
Do you ever fantasize about being killed?
If they ever ask about me, tell them I was more than just a great set of boobs. I was also an incredible pair of legs.
They brought their fucking toys with them!
And now here he is, the man you just love to hate.
That's trash! I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as bad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to And Now for Something Different. I'm Nathan Kennedy, and joining me, of course, is Tyler Baker. So tonight, you got your bonus stream for the week. It is Labor Day weekend. We are off of work. I have a 3-day. Tyler does not, but tonight we're going to do a watch along or watch party. What, however you want to put it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles almost did the Christian Slater voice there. Casey Jones.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There you go. Casey Jones, Outlaw Hero. But before we get into that, of course, Tyler, it's custom on our bonus stream shows when it's just the two of us. What have you been watching? And most importantly, what have you been buying?
Buying's been minimal because I purchased more artwork from Kevin and Ren.
Oh, all right. That'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. But I did purchase Torch from the G.I. Joe Classifieds because it was out of stock at Amazon when I went to buy it this week.
Told you.
So I had to buy it
jump on
eBay. I got that, and then I went and checked Hasbro Pulse. It was back in stock on Hasbro Pulse. I'm like, fuck! So I paid eBay prices, but I got it in 2 days. So
that's good.
I was like, you know what? Hey, I paid a little bit more, but it's already here. So Doc from Classified came in. My Kingpin from Marvel Legends Retro came in.
Hey, that's a good figure, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's I've got to take down the entire villain shelf to work him in.
He's pretty big.
He's big. So, that. And other than that, watching since I'm back at work, my work schedule has been a little bit more. I did watch because I came on one day not feeling too good. I'm like, I'm going to put in Last Man Standing since we talked about it last week. And I sat down and rewatched that. And of course, it's a fucking classic movie. Great. Can't wait for Nathan to watch it. But other than that, it's been pretty minimal. Like, I still want to sit down and watch Jimbo. I still need to sit down and finish watching The White Buffalo, 10 to Midnight.
God.
They're all on the list. It's just taking time to do
slacking.
I know.
Slacking.
I know. And that's what happens when I get back to my regular work schedule because I don't get home till late.
Yeah.
And that's what's so nice about the summer schedule. I can still work, go work out, do the things I need to do, and still have time to watch a movie and be done before going to bed.
So that similar. So I've forced myself. So instead, when I get off of work, instead of because the comic room, the walls, the floor, all that's in. But I've been too lazy to go and actually start moving stuff in there. I've just been coming home. I'm like, I just want to go home and shower and just put a movie or two on before Emily gets home and our dog starts getting a little antsy and moving around. So when I'm there, he's like on the couch. He's all relaxed. I'm like, all right, let's put on a movie. So I've actually, because we haven't done a bonus show in a couple weeks because I wasn't feeling it one week and then the next week you were out of town. So we're like, we'll keep pushing off.
It's good that we even told ourselves we didn't want to make a habit of it like every single week because we didn't want to become.
We didn't want to set the expectation that it's Friday. Where's the show? It's
there's gonna be some Fridays where I'm like, I don't do a fucking thing,
So I'll get to the movies that I've been watching. But you're talking about Kingpin and the big boy Marvel Legends actually got Man-Thing in the
oh god, that looks amazing.
Yeah, so he's a big one. He's a big guy. So
holy shit.
Yeah. I will actually probably have to rework a shelf to fit them in there, or I might just plop them down right here in front of the monitors. Or I would put him next to Swamp Thing, but I think I'm going to take this McFarlane Swamp Thing and put him down when I start getting that comic room configured. But I do have the shelving, the plastic shelving spacers that I want to use to put on the wall so I can actually display the comics. I have those. It's just moving the shelves in there and then figuring out. So there's three. I got the 3 walls. I'm like, all right, I probably, when you walk in the door, that wall right there is going to be the first appearance wall. That's where I'm going to put all like my first appearance comics. And then probably just on either side, just a mishmash of just either really cool cover or keys.
I was going to ask you, have you been noodling about like which ones we're going to get like top, like that Hulk 181 better be.
That's gonna be the centerpiece.
I was going to say that and Spider-Man 300 like that.
Yes.
Those two
Like, no, absolutely. Probably my first issue of Swamp Thing would probably go there.
Yeah.
First appearance of Rhino, first appearance of Juggernaut.
Oh my God, I forgot you had that first Juggernaut.
Obviously the New Warriors, the
Yeah.
great one. I'll probably that will be up there too.
Got to put the Wrecking Crew's first appearance.
Yeah. Scarlet Spider.
Yeah.
Go there. I've been
Kool-Aid number 1. I mean,
Kool-Aid number 1, Nolan Ryan number 1, Barbie number 1. So it's just getting the motivation to go and just do it because I want to get home and just sit on the couch and watch movies. So what I've been watching is a long list. I did watch Yojimbo yesterday.
All right, man.
For a few dollars more. A fistful of dollars. I did watch on Netflix Untold the Murder of Steve McNair, the former quarterback for Tennessee Titans. Wish they would have fleshed it out a little bit more. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I watched this very, very, very low budget horror film called Satan's Black Wedding on YouTube, and that was fun for what it was. 1976, just very, you can tell, just like artsy, like college project type movie. I enjoyed it. Red Sun, I highly recommended this to Tyler.
Oh yeah, it's another one I need to sit down and watch.
Red Sun with Bronson, check that out. I did watch on Prime Video the movie Jackpot with Aquafina and John Cena, and that was fine for what it was. I think we had mentioned that before.
Oh yeah.
10 to Midnight, fucking amazing. Check that out. Hard Times with Bronson. It was good. It was solid, not something early Walter Hill too. So it's it's fun. It's decent. White Buffalo. Now White Buffalo, I feel like I want to watch again because when I did put it on, it was just one of those days where I was dead ass tired, and even though it was like 5 p.m, I would doze for maybe 5 minutes and wake up. So that's something I'll probably come back to. Basketball, fucking classic. I watched 30 for 30 on the Little League World Series. Well, one of the teams in the 80s that beat Taiwan, because Taiwan was like the team that you had to beat for forever, and that was okay. Hearts Beat Loud, which had Nick Offerman in it, and he owns a record store. That movie was surprisingly pretty fantastic. It's not something I'd recommend to you. I don't think it's something you'd be into really, but I enjoyed it. And that pretty much, I think, unless we discussed me really watching the Death Wish sequels, which was an awesome time. Death Wish 5 was way better than I thought it was going to be. Like I would put that above Death Wish 2 and Death Wish 4. I still need to watch the first Death Wish. I still need to watch Sudden Impact and Deadpool.
Yeah.
And I will probably rewatch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly because I watched that years ago, and that was, up until this point, the only Dollars Trilogy movie I had seen. And you're like, what? Yeah, it happens. There's only so much time in a day.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And you know what? It's not that we, or either one of us are like, well, we want to watch it and just things happen. You get sidetracked, and
or you just want to watch something you've seen a bunch of times.
Oh, sometimes you know what? I'm just in the mood just put down something that's more familiar. Like I'm just in the mood to watch Ghostbusters again. I would rather watch Predator 2 or something like that. But it's been a lot of fun. Like you and I bouncing back and forth, throwing out Eastwood and Charles Bronson films that we have never watched, or just rewatching again for like it's been a long time. And
it's weird. I sit here and I'm like, man, I'm kind of really getting into this Western genre, and I'm like, is this just a part of being old now? I'm like, you get old, and all of a sudden a switch flips, and you're just like,
and you got to start wearing like plaid shirts, and like it just because there's always a certain look that older men. It's like they never change how it's like they dress old as opposed to. Well, I mean, people age differently nowadays, but I still think that come 60 years old, you and I will still be dressing the same, probably.
So, for a few dollars more, I'm like, all right, this came out in 1965. I'm like, Lee Van Cleef has always looked old as fuck, no matter what. So I'm like, how old was he during this? 40. He was our age during that movie, and I'm like,
oh my god,
like, holy shit! You look at him, you're like, that dude's easily like late 50s, pushing like early 60s.
People don't
he was 40.
I mean, we are now 40, and neither one of us like look 40. Like
it's the preservatives in the food, man. I'm telling you, all those McDonald's chicken nuggets, all the
pretzel crust,
the kid cuisines, like all that shit we ate as a kid. It's like preserving our organs.
Yeah,
it's made us youthful.
I think now, like, people don't just grow up and drink and smoke like profusely, like at early ages, and not. I mean, we're talking like Nathan's like 12 years old, putting back,
That's true. That's true. I mean, my mom started smoking cigarettes when she was like 13. So
wow,
yeah. Those were the times. And Johnny Clock, who was 40? Well, Lee Van Cleef was 40 during a few dollars more.
Yeah.
But if you're asking who is 40, you're looking at it right
here. Yeah, we're 40. Which,
sounds like, weird when you say it out loud.
It is, because I'm like, I'm like, well, okay, whatever. I still, I think one thing that helps is you and I have never gotten out of the mythology of toys and movies and comics, and still enjoying the cartoons from the 80s and the early 90s, instead of just like, well, I gotta grow up, I gotta read the fucking paper, I gotta watch the fucking news.
Where's my Reader's Digest?
Yeah, and do all this boring shit. Like when you reach a certain age, then you gotta like, put on tons of weight, have a bunch of children you don't want or something like that. And then you just let yourself go, and you start drinking to deal with the problems, or just hiding in the garage. It just sounds like all these cliches. I'm like,
mate, dude, maybe that is also the key to it. We don't have kids.
Yeah,
because I look at I look at my friend Josh. I don't know if Josh watches this, so if he somehow is watching our stuff and gets to this point, dude, I'm sorry I'm about to say this, but he's always been a little bit on the heftier side, not like super obese or nothing, but like just a heavier set guy, and like he has 3 kids, and just he works on. I don't know if he's still doing the 1/6 scale stuff. I think he's gone down. I think he's doing more now in like 6-inch scale stuff now these days. But just getting married, having a bunch of kids, doing all this, and it's just like I do think that ages you. And if we don't have that aspect of life, I think it's maybe kept us this way. I don't know.
Because I think about like when I was in my 20s and just was. Thinking that's not only I thought is what you're supposed to do, but part of me was looking forward to that, and I'm glad it just didn't work out that way. Like I'm just glad, the kids never came along and rushed down the altar or down the altar, whatever the fuck, and it's just I think people's mindsets have just changed a lot too, and I don't think I think it's starting to become a little bit more
widely accepted that
Yeah,
it's you
yeah.
know what, it's kind of all right if you're not gonna have kids.
Yeah, and I'm like, I couldn't be happier. Like, I love my nephews, but I'm glad it's not my responsibility to keep them safe, watch over them. I had about I took my nephew to the arcade in Myrtle Beach, a while back when we went on the family beach trip, just
Uh-huh.
me and him, and I just had this like a bit of a panic trying to keep an eye on him because I've never been in charge of a child out in public. Like, sit at the house and watch him or something, that's one thing, but when you go out in public, you're like, don't let him out of your sight. Don't let him out of your sight.
Mhm.
And then we
That
had to go up.
changes apparently once you have a second kid. Then you don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, but I'm like, you know
About
what?
you.
For that brief bit of like him wanting to jump from one arcade game to another, as
Yeah.
opposed to let's sit here and play this, or you play that, and I'll sit here and play this. Like, I
Then there's
couldn't.
some dude off in the corner wearing a trench coat, and you're like, "Get out of here, Joe! What are you
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
here?"
It's like, oh my god, Joe, and going to Kroger, I'm like, oh my god, Brian, where are you? Stay where you're at. And I'm having trouble like trying to get things together, a small list. I just feel like a complete moron because I'm in full.
I wish I could have just like
It was
been able
not.
to
It
see
was
that.
not. It was not fun. So I'm
I would
like,
have,
you know what?
I would have ate that shit up.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
look at him.
So no, it's good. That's the cool thing about just being a cool uncle. You get to do all the cool fun stuff. They see you as fun.
Yep,
They
and then you
associate
pack them off, and then here you go. Here
Yeah,
you go,
yeah,
Derek. You get to be bad
yeah.
father now and tell him no.
And Derek is a good father. He's cool with them. He's firm but fair. If they act up, he doesn't hesitate to
Uh-huh.
pull them aside and dress them down, and they stop.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, I'm glad that's not my responsibility.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just, and it's just, I mean, we can spend our money on Iron Studio statues, and
Yeah.
I
Oh, which
I-
by the way, they dropped the pre-order for the 1990 the Leo and
I saw them
Don.
today too. I'm like, oh my god, all four of them are available, $200 each.
Yeah, it only cost you it's like $800.
Oh god.
Well, that's
I'm
not
like,
even
where would I
factoring.
put it if I have it?
Yeah. that's-
My turtle section is packed out the ass. I
I mean-
have no more room.
Honestly, if I'm gonna spend that chunk of money, I will just finish off getting the 1/6 or no, not 1/6, the NECA.
The NECA ones, yeah.
Yeah, because you have Leo and Don, right?
Actually, just Leo and Shredder.
Oh, I thought you got Donatello.
I meant to get him, and I just kept putting it off.
Yeah.
And so just Leo and Shredder are the only two. And that's
See, I have Raph, Shredder, and the Foot Soldier.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I remember you got the Foot Soldier too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't just come out with a Splinter and April and a Casey Jones too, because I think if they would have done that, I would have been like, all right, well, I gotta fucking buy all of them. But
I don't know if I'd have bought all of those though. Like,
really,
I almost felt like, as much as I would have loved to have had all four turtles, like that line, I almost felt like I had to pick my absolute favorites. Like, I'm a Leo and Don guy, you're a Raph guy, and I'm like, if I'd have got another, it probably would have been Don. But
I'm a Raph and Don guy. You're a Leo
Okay.
and Don guy.
Yeah.
It's funny that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Michelangelo. I
do
really
too.
do. But it's just,
But I think because he was, even though as a kid, like, and that's the thing, and this can be just part of our conversation. My favorite turtle evolved over the years. Like, it changed multiple times because Raph was the first one I got for Christmas '88. Seeing with the VHS tape attached to it, like I immediately was drawn to him. I thought Leo was too bossy, and that was my perspective.
look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you were right. You were right from the start. I don't know why you changed your mind. But go ahead.
I changed because it was Raph for a while, and then I got Donatello was the second turtle that I got, and I got the dress up suit of Don, like not too long after that, and
That's the best one out of them.
oh, it was my favorite, and I had
Well,
Leos. I got Leos for Christmas.
I was gonna say maybe Raph, but then he did come with two sides, right? Or did he only
I thought
come
it was
with
just
one?
one because Leo came with one sword. That was it.
It
And
may have just
Michelangelo,
been.
my brother had Mikey's. He had one nunchuck.
Yeah.
was it.
So Donatello would have been the way to go with that. then.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
more I don't
What a fucking cop out that is.
Yeah,
That's so shitty.
and I don't know why. Like all those that use dueling weapons only got one, and I don't, and they were like $20 dress up kits, which was expensive back then. We're talking 1989, $1990.
You're honestly, I would have been better off just going to the flea market and just going to where
the
they had
real
the
deal.
ninja weapons and just get the
Yeah.
real size. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
But I had a blast playing with those. It's not
I
like
did too.
I felt cheated or anything like that.
No.
It was. But it went from Dawn, and then I just liked Michelangelo appear. Like I liked him in the cartoon. I loved him in the movie, but he was not. And he was the one turtle I didn't have. Like we had variants, but we never. Me and my brother, neither one had like an actual like traditional Michelangelo, and that always bothered me.
Yeah.
But
I think even just back then as a kid, especially when you're watching the 1990 movie, right? Like Raph is where it's at. And Leo,
and that was a big part of it too, because I was Raph. I thought he was so cool in the movie, and then he's taken out of action.
Yeah,
about halfway through, and I'm like, damn it.
But it's just any time with Mikey, it's like, he's funny,
yeah.
and he gets the job done when it comes to fighting. But it's just, I always, even as a kid, looked at him as like,
he's the clown. He's not.
I'm in the same boat that they're in. Like they are kind of looking down on him a little bit because he's not taking it as seriously as he should. But he's a vital part to the team because you need that type of personality to make it what it is.
Keep it, still fun. Like he can still whip your ass.
Yeah.
He's got one of the deadliest weapons in the group, and you got the craziest guy, the craziest mindset using the craziest weapon. So but I think too, like Raph in the movie, he's cussing. He's like, I don't give a shit. Like he was cool. And Leo, I thought I didn't appreciate at the time. Like I see Raph's mindset like, nah, dude, you got to calm the fuck down, man. We can't just go out and just go wherever we want, man. We got to, and I sided with Raph so much in that movie as a kid. And then as an adult, I'm like, nah, man, it's, I am Leo all the way through. I know Nathan's always giving me shit about that because he's a Raph guy. I'm a Leo guy.
But it brings up a point here. Sobek had in the chat, not sure if your favorite turtle says anything about your personality, but Raphael was my favorite as well growing up. It does. I think that is a good test. It's like, what's your favorite Ninja Turtle? And that kind of tells you everything you need to know about personality
without knowing. Yeah, because people ask me who your favorite. I said, well, I'm a Leo and Don. Like those two are my go-tos. Like Don is. It started like as a kid, but playing Turtles in Time, he was my favorite to play as, and that kind of snowballed from there. Plus, I just liked purple as a kid. That was one of my favorite colors as a kid. I just thought purple looked cool, and it looks cool on Donatello.
Yeah.
But Mikey was just always fun, and I felt like he was used a lot in a lot of the advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the All Stars to the Rescue drug cartoon. Like
it's got to be Mikey
in it. Yeah. But I thought it was awesome. Like, it's Michelangelo. I wanted to see more of him because that was like prime time, like popularity for Turtles, like him, in the same cartoon with Kermit and Garfield and Alf and the Chipmunks and stuff like that. But
and I know that some people, we've seen it before in comments and in our chat, and I recommend it anytime we talk Turtles. I'm like, if you haven't checked out the 2012 series, you're really doing yourself a disservice. Like, if you're not a fan of how it looks, just seriously give it a shot because it's written very well and it brings to the point. I thought they did a really good job. What we just discussed with Michelangelo, what they do in that series of they treat him as like, all right, like they look down on him, but he's actually very intelligent in his own way as they weave that into the story, and it's done in a fun way. I think about that show often, and it's something I want to just go back and rewatch.
That's something we ought to like just you and I decide to tackle, like like the Squirrelinoids episode or Panic in the Sewers, where they use like the four-sided go-kart and face Dog Pound for the first time, or where Shredder kicks the shit out of him. It's those first couple of seasons, like outside of like I hated Casey Jones. I thought he fucking sucked in the show. I didn't care for that much.
Casey Jones in this iteration, I thought started out strong, but quickly became very whiny and I mean teenage boy like.
But that's the thing. Like, I didn't want to see the human characters as teenagers. Like I identify as the Turtles. I don't need to see the human characters to be my age too. If I was a kid, it was irrelevant.
and we've mentioned this before. It certainly kind of loses a little bit going into the back half of it. Still entertaining enough in some regard, but definitely highly recommend those first.
Oh, absolutely.
Couple seasons.
Mikey, I thought was one of the best interpretations of the character of that iteration of the Turtles. I mean, I love Don's portrayal.
Yeah,
and I would almost say Don and Mikey probably have the best.
Yeah,
because there's so much fun with Michelangelo's personality. Like, I just think about the episode where they fight the Mousers for the first time, and they pair off with Leo and Raph because they're the alpha team. So they put Don and Mikey and Don are up on the rooftop, and Don's trying to put a plan together. Mikey's just trying to come up with a fun name for the plan, and he's sitting there just like a little kid, listening to Don talk. And it's just such a fun, lovable moment of brothers just, one's being serious, the other one's trying to have fun with this moment here.
Well, then the whole aspect of it too is Don is miffed that they've decided to team up and he's stuck with Mikey. So it just.
But it's great.
I love it.
To realize they can't do anything without the other two.
Yeah,
they realize they need. That's why they're a unit. You can't sit there and say one's better than the other, because what you can do, he can't do, and vice versa. And I just, that's good writing. That's how you tell a good story, a good turtle story. And
if you haven't checked it out, please just give it a shot.
I liked it, and you guys all know I hate all the new shit.
And honestly, Tyler's the reason, because I saw how it looked. I was like, huh. And then Tyler's like, you know what? It's actually all right. It's pretty good. And then I went and bought, I don't think it was the first season, because they didn't do.
They were released in volumes.
They were released in like little volumes that had 5-6 episodes on the disc. And I bought that first one. I was like, holy shit. All right, cool. And then I bought the other ones to catch up. And then I started.
You and I were like watching when they were airing,
we were watching them when they were airing. I was like, that was a great episode. Or it would be that one that you really fucking hated. What was the one with the mushrooms?
Oh yeah, it was
trying to. I appreciated how trippy and weird it was, but it was
not fucking stupid. But like when they introduced Tiger Claw and they fight him in that meat cutting plant.
Yep.
This isn't a Nickelodeon's version of Turtles. Like you're going this route, and you're not saying, oh my god, think of the kids and we got to make it light and fluffy and all this agenda bullshit. It's like, no, we're making this serious. The Turtles have no pupils. They're whited out eyes. They're ready to kick the shit out of this guy.
Yeah.
No,
it was great. I'm surprised Tyler made it as far, because it does have a little bit of like the
And I think I think when the quality dropped, I just checked out and then came back and watched some of the later episodes. Like when they advertised that Yojimbo was going to be showing, I was like, oh my god!
Those were awesome episodes. I really liked those a lot.
Yeah, and that's a character that's, thank God they have never fucked that character up. Why he has, and I think he was supposed to get like his own animated series. I thought, what?
Didn't they do that Netflix thing?
Did they? I heard that they were doing that, but I never
see that's the thing. I think it's out and came out, but there was nothing said about it.
Okay, well, it probably got fucked up because
well,
I'm going to assume it was fucking lame.
Fedmon, All Stars to the Rescue watch party in the near future, maybe as a PSA hell.
It's a fun little thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Plus, it was cool to see all those characters and the voice actors all coming together.
That was the biggest thing. It's like, I don't give a fuck about say no to drugs. I just want to see all these characters together.
Me too. That's all. And I remember thinking, like, I really want to see them interacting more. I'm like, I don't give a shit about the marijuana and the pot use and whatever. I just want to see Garfield and Kermit and Michelangelo interact.
Dude, I was the same way. I was like, I'm not going to do drugs. Just show me these characters interacting together.
I was like, fuck that, man. Like, they always acted like just because we're 5, 6, 7 years old that we're all fucking stupid. Like, I don't know how to write a check. I don't know how to, work a lawnmower at 5 years old. But I'm like, just don't, it's like they really just assume kids are dumb,
Kids are dumb, right?
And if you were a kid that picked up Michelangelo as a farmer for mommy, that's the turtle I want. Like, well,
that's because you have an even temperament.
I guess so. But I'm
So
like, I,
back,
I, I don't want to hang out with that kid that's the turtle he picked out to have to take home.
yeah, it's like if that's the turtle
That
that you
kid's a
picked out,
pussy.
if your grandparents didn't buy you that, then yeah, something wrong there. So
Yeah.
back this question by 2012, you mean the Nickelodeon turtles? That was something I watched with my son. Those were his turtles growing up. It
Yeah,
was
they were good
good. Yep.
turtles. Yeah,
Yeah,
they were very good.
it
Yeah,
was good.
a good portion of the episode. And I thought like, it was eventually they would bring in elements, but I liked Dog Pound and Fish Face. I thought
Yeah,
they were
I did
nice,
too.
like new henchmen, and Baxter starting human for a while, then eventually becomes the fly that spits up,
Yeah.
vomits on his food, just like the Jeff Goldblum. Like they were fun little things that they did on the show, and when
The voice talent that they would bring in and then weave in a story that was some like
yeah.
due to a character that they had played and were famous for, like Robert England,
Oh
for
god, him
example.
playing the beavers, like him and uh uh uh, uh Kassir,
James Hong.
no, the Crypt Keeper. God, we met him at Mad Monster.
Oh,
John Kassir.
yes.
Yeah, he was the other voice of the Dream Beavers.
Yeah.
There was three. There was one that was really silly, and then there's Robert Englund and John Kassir who were playing the two evil Dream Beavers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, just things like and then Bill Mosley played like the storekeeper in that same episode because they're out staying in the woods, and Bill Mosley was playing like the kind of odd
Yeah. Just all
storekeeper in that
the
episode.
the homages to shit that we like and grew up with that they would
Yeah,
just toss in there and work a story around was just a ton of fun.
They did a nice touch or a nice homage to Big Trouble in Little China in one
Yep.
episode.
Yep.
It
was
it
great.
didn't feel like, oh, you're just being lazy and ripping off. Like, no, it was just elements that they appreciate and put it into the story, and it worked.
Great show.
Yeah.
Check out 2012.
And the
But
Rat King, Jeffrey Combs playing the Rat King, like
Yep.
that was a match made in heaven, dude.
it really was. But
Yeah,
we will
it was
go.
just a scarecrow voice, but it was awesome.
We will go from 2012 all the way back to 1987. Link is down below in the description. So, and I was thinking about this actually. I was like, damn, man, if people are watching our show on their phone, then obviously they can't click on another YouTube link because it would just open that up. So they're pretty much fucked. But if you guys are
Well,
on
hopefully, if you're a Turtles fan, you've got it on DVD.
if you have the DVD or you're at your computer or you're watching us on your television and have your phone with you, you can do it that way. Finagle it how you want and try to figure it out. But link is down below, and we're going to give Deucin an aneurysm. I'm actually going to watch the AI upscale that I have. I think Tyler's going to watch the YouTube. There's not the only difference is
I thought that was the whole reason you told me to watch the YouTube.
no, I told you to click the YouTube one because you could actually full screen it on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas like we
I
do
can't
that,
full
you're
screen with the which the upscale version is superior. It sounds great, looks
It's
great.
amazing.
I've watched it twice already, so
it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So we are looking at and before we hit play, this is I should have had this up. It's season 3 and it's episode 20 or no, maybe it's not that far. Not that I'll just bring up the Turtle Wiki, damn it. All right. It's season 3, episode 23. And you got to think about this in terms of like how they set things up with animation back in the day. So the first season of Turtles it's like what, 6 episodes?
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So after that is when we get into those big bulky, here's like 53 episodes or whatever.
And when the Crooked Ninja Turtle game shows up in season 2, episode 1.
Yeah. Yeah, which was
The
fantastic.
Return of the Shredder, which that was one of the things that Nathan quoted when we were much younger. And I'm like, okay, if he's quoting that, like that particular line from that particular episode, like, okay, we're going to be buddies already. Like we were already buddies, but when he threw that line, like that just helped like cement it even more,
Yeah, the Crooked Ninja Turtle gang.
His impression of Peter calling his leader a Slash.
It's amazing that NECA came out with those action figures too.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was great. But if all of you at home have it loaded up, Tyler's got it loaded up, I will let you give us the countdown and we shall proceed.
All right. 3, 2, 1, action. And always associating this intro not just with the show, but with the first arcade game.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's the memories of not being able to go anywhere. Not that you would want to, but from the malls, the movie theaters, and
You couldn't get
arcades
away.
at the beach.
You
That game
couldn't get
was
away.
featured fucking everywhere, man.
7-Elevens.
It was so much fun to know you had so much accessibility to this arcade game that never got tired or
Yeah.
never got tiresome of playing it. The putt around that used to be in Christiansburg that I had my birthday party at one year, they had it.
Pizza Hut.
Pizza
you already
Hut.
mentioned that.
You know,
but
every hotel that I stayed in the early '90s had this game in there, and because hotels back then would have an arcade on site inside the hotel, and this was always there. And
Yeah,
never got tired of playing it.
Pizza Hut always seemed to have like one mainstay popular arcade game and then Neo Geo beside it. But
yeah.
Written by David Weiss, and we jump immediately into this crime wave hitting the city. Guys moving around.
I love this music. This piece of music that plays during certain. This works so good for this sequence here.
It does.
And let me tell you real quick when I saw this on DVD, I hadn't seen this episode since the airings in the '90s. I was like, "Oh my god, it's Clint Eastwood."
Yeah.
There was no acknowledgement as a kid.
You didn't piece it together as a kid.
No, not at all.
I didn't either.
I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Anyway, belong garbage. Oh my god, it's so fucking funny.
Who, offhand, do you know who is voicing Casey Jones here?
I've often wondered about that. I've never stopped to check, but I can't help but wonder if it's any of the main cast. Because if it is, when we get a chance to meet them, like, can you do your Casey Jones impression? God, it was so, I won't say appalling, but it shocked the hell out of me that it. As a kid, I thought he was so fucking serious that all his dialogues. Oh my god, he's so fucking cool. He's so tough. And as an adult, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's essentially just Dirty Harry.
Yeah, it's all it is. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I could, but as 5-6 years old, I knew who Clint Eastwood was, but I never knew anything about his voice and definitely not Dirty Harry.
Why are these guys like this? This dude wants to steal a croquet set. Like, get the fuck out of here! Come on.
Well, I just love that all these criminals they want bubble gum and cookies.
Yeah,
and it's the most like childlike version of criminals.
You see how unhinged he is, sort of, but the sports store really sells it because he's chucking weights at him. He's fucking throwing skis at him. Like,
yeah, he's not even using any of his traditional weapons, but he is. Oh my god, yeah. I just thought he was the coolest fucking guy. So like all I knew is like the toy that I didn't have, and then when he shows up in the live action movie, which was a total surprise to me, like, oh my god, like that's what I remember Casey Jones being like up until I saw it as an adult.
And April in her nightgown here, holy shit, dude.
Yes, that's a wonderful touch there. That
I was
he's just
like,
been wearing
wow.
like a giant moo today. We don't want to imply women, wear skimpy clothing when they go to sleep. God forbid.
Pat Fraley is the one that's doing the voice here.
Oh, that's the voice of Krang.
So there you go.
And
Baxter Stockman.
Yep. And he also worked on Brave Star. I believe he's the voice of I think he is the voice of Brave Star, I think.
So here are the Turtles now. We've gone from April in the nightgown to the Turtles. It's like 2 a.m. They're like, we don't have pizza.
Yeah, we need pepperoni, and just knowing that Casey's down there just
hanging out in the sewers, just looking for trouble.
Going to a big heist. Oh, it's so much fun trying to talk.
It is.
I just entertain myself doing his.
Well, I just love how he's just fucking unhinged, man. He's just in the sewer.
Something.
I'm like,
lawbreaker.
I relate so much to his character.
Yeah, he's such a. It's no wonder he is arguably the most memorable ally of the Turtles. I mean, he's up there. I put him and Usagi up there as my favorites of the allies of the Turtles. Like, they're so memorable. They're ass kickers, and they were portrayed so lovable in this show. He's throwing mud at him. It's like people are like, "What? What? You laughing at this?" Like, I can't help it. It's fucking funny. Martian invaders.
Then he
Just
he
uses his
just
bat to get the
demarches
hell
him
out
and
of
then
there.
like fucking beats a hole out of a fucking vent and crawls away because he's like, oh my god.
Donnie's like, what a dingling. What a dumbass. If it was Nathan like observing that as a turtle, he'd say, man, what a dumbass. And the uses of the knucklehead,
And then
which
of course we
anytime,
cut to our
yeah,
Oh,
we
dude,
get in
yes.
the plot with the villains here, and I'd always get excited as a kid watching any of the episodes that featured a vehicle or a weapon or a character that you'd see commercials of the toy of, like, oh
Or
my god,
something
like,
that you would come across in the video games that you would play
yeah,
too. Yeah.
it was a big deal, and you know, as a kid, it was important to see stuff like that. Like, oh, I have that toy. Oh, I saw the commercial for that toy.
One of the interesting aspects about this episode is Splinter not in it.
No, he's not. And unless you know the machines were to travel into the sewer, that, like Donatello's equipment, or to get infected with these bugs and they come
Yeah.
alive and attack Splinter, you know,
Yeah.
could have done that.
Bebop, Rocksteady breaking the fourth wall, telling the kids, "Hey,
Yeah.
don't jump off of trains. It's very dangerous."
Yeah, it's touches like that. I don't mind in Turtles because it's, you know, I don't know. As a kid, I still saw them as serious villains, but as an
Well, it's
adult,
just like little
it's
quick
like the 60s
harmless
Batman
thing.
show. It's like
Yeah.
you as a kid, you take it very seriously. As an adult, you appreciate like they were having fun with it, but the kids don't know the difference.
Casey Jones is going to pick up Joe here. It's like,
Yeah,
what are
yeah. I
now
thought
you're
about-
breaking
this
the
is
law.
You'll do time. Like he wants to beat the shit out of a guy for sleeping on a park bench.
You're breaking the law.
You'll do time, lawbreaker.
Puts him in a fucking full Nelson.
Oh my god. And this episode was never released on VHS, at least not that I ever saw.
That's a shame too.
Yeah, it was strictly like you had
If
to
it
sit and
wasn't,
watch it.
I'm pretty sure it
I
wasn't,
really don't think
but-
it was. I'm pretty sure I came across most of the VHS tapes, and this was one that you just had to get lucky watching on TV every day, and just hopes that the Casey Jones episode, the first one, first appearance, would come on.
Also, too, them fighting him in the park, like I'm like,
Yeah,
1990
like the
movie.
movie.
Yeah. Filthy Harry movies.
Yeah, which they knew what they were doing when they did.
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
So I just love that touch that they throw that in there to let you know. Yeah, we know what we're doing. Like the adults, the mom, dad will definitely get this if he's watching it with his kids. You know.
So, and I love the aspect here that Raph's like, let the police deal with it. And they're like, yeah, but do you not understand vigilante? And blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, they're going to think that he's us.
Yeah. It's a great way of like we're trying to avoid conflict and let the idiot go. But like, no, we have to stop this guy. And a lot of times it never gets tiresome of watching heroes battle other heroes and they come to an understanding. It's a classic trope in comic books.
Absolutely.
And it works just as well here in Ninja Turtles.
April, of course, being in peril here, the bugs have taken over her motorcycle, and this is when the turtles are going to come to the rescue, which is good. But we get some Krang dialogue here, which I love. Krang's voice.
Me
like,
too. It's just hearing him laugh and carry on.
Yeah, like how you're given the task of just, hey, come up with a voice for this character. Just where do you got to go to get there? Yeah, there's Raph. Yeah, throwing his fucking size in there, being the man, saving the day. Well, getting thrown from the motorcycle, but.
And I never had a thing for April. I did in the movie, but like I didn't look at April as like
hot.
Yeah, like if she were to like give him a kiss or something like that,
Well,
like, that's awesome.
Well, I think even as a kid, when it came to animated shows, I wasn't like, oh my god, they're so hot.
Oh,
even,
I was. I
not I mean, it would happen occasionally, but it wasn't an occurrence. But I mean, April is hot in this.
Oh yeah, she's a very attractive character. I don't know. I guess as a kid, I don't know. Like Judith Hogue, like seeing her in the live action movie, was like, I'm like Homer Simpson foaming at the mouth,
Yeah.
but
So
like
now
in the game, it was important. We got to save April. Got to get a kiss from April.
Get the kiss. Now we get
Yeah.
our maximum overdrive
Yeah,
portion of the episode.
which kind of makes you wonder if this episode wasn't mildly inspired. Which David
absolutely.
Wise, who did like so many episodes, especially some of the early episodes, and he worked on He-Man, amongst other shows. And I wish we had got a chance to talk to him before he passed away. I would have loved to sat and talk to him about his time on He-Man and Turtles.
Yeah. Oh no! All the appliances are attacking everybody.
Which is it gives a great reason to have the turtles use their weapons and that not be seen as
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, which I sent Nathan the video before we did this of a 60 Minutes from Australia where they interview people in America about the impact the turtles are having on kids, the live action movies coming out, and it encouraging violence with kids. And like it's like, oh my god, like some people are so fucking dumb, and then others like the kids just having the time of their lives and like, yeah, that was me, Nathan, when we were kids. My parents were not thinking
same.
that,
as long as nobody's getting hurt, then it's totally fine. It's harmless fun.
Some jerk off, is a psychiatrist for kids and says, yeah, they're promoting violence, and fucking pussy.
Hey, he talked about the Turtles movie and said it incites 137 instances of violence. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Fuck you, man. But parents are obviously, it makes me wonder, like, how Newland Cinema found out about all those complaints, because then they toned it down in the second one. Raph fighting a toaster here.
Yeah, Raph fighting a toaster. Watch out, man. Exploding toast. This is when Casey's going to come to the rescue.
Yeah, dude.
Starts beating the shit out of all these
appliances. Oh, my God. I love it. His whole, like, he has nothing but great moments in this entire episode. Like, when he comes back in action right now through his standoff with Krang.
Even machines must obey the law.
And he's so serious when he does it. Just
yeah.
Should have beaten the shit out of microwaves and stoves and everything. Oh my God, it's so fucking.
Well,
great.
like, you think about it, he's so fucked in the head that in a couple episodes later, they enlist his help because there's this company that's brainwashing people.
I love that episode.
And he shows up in a business suit.
It's like the sleeves are cut off, and he's just sitting there looking at.
No, I thought he had full sleeves, and then tears them off. Maybe
I don't know what I'm thinking. I for some reason I was thinking he was showing up with the sleeves cut off. It's been a while since I've watched that episode, but it's very good though.
But the dialogue that they had before this, where Donatello's like, done in by modern convenience, and Raph saying, like, isn't there some kind of underlying message here? Like, just the shit that's going to go over a kid's head.
Yeah. But that's good writers, that they can put in stuff that's harmless to kids, but only adults will get. Like, that's the good thing about watching stuff like Doug and Rocco back in the day, too.
Yeah.
It's a shame we didn't see more of Casey. Like he's such a staple in the mythology of Turtles. He's not in a ton
He's
of
only
episodes.
in 5 episodes.
That many? God, I didn't think it was that many.
Yeah, only 5. But maybe for the best, as we said before. When you sparingly, if you overdo it, then maybe it
becomes like watching Man at Arms and Teela in every episode of He-Man. Dude, we got more characters to use, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah, GPS is telling you to go straight. Yeah, okay, fine. Right into the water. I know that you don't like The Office much, but there's a part where they're driving and he's like, no, the GPS is saying this, and they drive right into the water. So
I guess maybe The Office ripped off this little gimmick.
Maybe there's like, hey, you remember the episode Casey Jones Outlaw Hero from Ninja Turtles? Like, no.
I remember that.
Yeah, there's this part. Put it in this episode.
The Turtle Van too always had some of the coolest like gadgets and it just looked like a whole
That-
nother world inside that.
And that was
van.
that was the thing. You would see it so much in the show that obviously you got to have that toy. Got to have
And
the
I
toy.
never had that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. No, we had no
Never had
vehicles
it.
other
Never.
than-
You still don't have it.
No.
Gonna have
No,
to fix. You gotta have to fix that, man.
I know, man. Well, I mean, hell, I got the Technodrome. Like, I got like damn near the Holy Grail.
You need to get the sewer playset too.
I had that at one point. I had the biggest portion, and then I had no idea. I got it from a guy who sold me a bunch of stuff out of his grandma's car. Like we were like teenagers, and he sold me all this He-Man figures, the Fright Zone, and the Turtles playset for like $40.
I love this shot here. They open it up,
it's
Shredder
awesome.
standing there.
Yeah.
Well, and then so you see an established shot, and then it goes to a shadow work, and then he walks back in again. But
Yeah.
here's the giant reveal.
Yeah,
Reveal
with the
of
Knucklehead. This is
Knucklehead.
like a section like the video game, like or something like the reveal of Krang and the Knucklehead and dun 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 dun. Yeah.
I remember when I made that Sam's ringtone.
Oh
so
yeah, she got so pissed off.
Yeah, that was good times. I told you I was going to do that too. You got a good kick out of it.
Yeah, that was awesome. Which that's the theme that yeah. Oh my gosh, shit's going down. You hear that theme.
Yeah.
And just seeing the group shot of the four of them with Casey in the back. And he's just sounding like, that's the number one bad guy. That's who you want to beat the shit out of.
Yeah. He's like, oh, okay.
It's really Rav like tapping.
Yeah, tapping his mask.
And I love how his mask will emote.
That's
a little
copyright
emotion.
infringement. How low can you go?
He just smacks. God, I fucking love this episode. Come back here.
If Michelangelo's calling you a fucking doofus, that's saying something.
That's saying a lot, man.
I love it. He's going out pointing, and Mikey's just like a definite doofus.
Yes, and just still chasing. Didn't you hear me? And Krang's so oblivious, like he can give two shits about any of this. I just love
He doesn't turn around until Casey pulls out a fucking sledgehammer from his.
Yeah, he's like, I'll take care of
his
that.
pack. Yeah. Splendid. Rawr.
And in this world too, everyone just accepts everything. There's not the logic. Questioning the things you see went out the door like after the first season.
Oh. Save me.
And of course, anytime we talk Charles, I can't think about that Ninja Turtle cartoon.
Hell yeah.
Man, funny as hell.
Blow dryer comes to life, and of course, once she
Yeah.
gets this figured out, she got to talk about how long it took her to get the
same hairstyle that we see in every episode.
Yeah, 3 hours to do that.
And I love this little gag here. That's great.
Yeah.
And goes right back to the action.
Yeah, some people are just impatient, which is funny coming from him.
Yes, it is.
Ironic, one would say.
I'm sure that was done deliberately.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He grabs a pie to throw at Shredder.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, if parents were to, again, like with He-Man, they don't stop and actually see, what they're, which I'm sure, I think the action gets changed up a bit. It's not a whole lot of the, even beating the shit out of the foot soldiers.
Yeah.
They do a lot of that in the first season. But it becomes a lot more like gags like this, where you got machines and dodging laser fire and stuff like that, as opposed to actually dishing a three finger fist into Bebop's face. And there's so many great episodes for us to discuss too. Like this is the only second time we, at least with this new iteration.
Yeah.
And we did it a couple times on.
We've talked turtles. We've talked turtles in the past, but not. I mean, even then, it wasn't as much either.
No, we just did the Pizza Monsters. We did the live action movie, and I think we covered the first two episodes. I think it was very minimal.
Yeah, Leo giving him the encouragement. Yeah, put a hole in there.
It's just faster and faster.
What is it? Very Duke Nukem-esque. Maybe they use
Yeah.
that. Where is it?
And crying.
Yeah, I hear those blaster sounds. I'm like, Star Wars? But yeah, the remote goes into the knucklehead and takes control over it. Crane gets.
Did you have a knucklehead when you were a kid? I don't remember seeing it in your collection, but it's been a while since I've looked at it.
Oh man, I might not. Though part of me, I guess not, because I have all my vintage turtle stuff, so I guess I don't have one.
Yeah, I didn't recall.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Oh, I guess you know what you get for Christmas this year.
Yeah, right.
Vintage knucklehead mitten box and then one loose complete.
Yeah. While you just sit there looking all sad, eating your McDonald's ice cream.
I got 2 of them. I don't know what to do with them, but you ain't getting one.
I love how this ends too.
Yeah, it's a great ending.
What a strange guy.
Got a funny feeling we're going to be seeing him again.
Yeah, totally violent. Yeah, I liked him too.
Yeah. Such a great.
It's very much like Man with No Name, even though he has a name, like going off into the sunset for his next crazy adventure.
They were definitely Dan Wise is all about Clint Eastwood, the voice cast. Pat was definitely about it. They really leaned into. It makes you one of those things wonder about, which probably didn't happen. Like Clint Eastwood, I know he's aware he's been spoofed and.
Do you think he's seen this?
It just makes you wonder if I ever met him. Like, I don't want to. Did you ever see that Casey Jones character on Turning Ninja Turtle that was like using your voice? What did you think about that? It's just like, what are you talking about, kid? But I just
look at you like that.
Yeah, it's exactly how we look.
And
it'd be so worth it. It'd be so worth it to get that kind of look from Clint Eastwood, especially now.
Yeah. So credits have rolled on Casey Jones, Outlaw Hero. Tyler, out of 10, what would you give that episode?
Oh, 10. It's a blast.
Yeah. This is a pretty easy rating for this. It's fun. It's just, as Tyler said, watching it as a kid, the Eastwood voice reference over the head. Watching it as an adult, you just appreciate it for that. And then watching it together, and even when I watched it a couple days ago, you just appreciate how fucking unhinged he is and how he just wanted to kick some ass. And that's all he cares about is just enforcing the law and beating up bad guys. Fucking amazing, funny episode. That top tier for me.
Absolutely. I mean, that's I put it up there with the first few episodes. You saw Jimbo's first episode, the Metalhead episode, Enter the Fly.
Yeah.
There's so many great episodes. I'd love for me, Nathan, to cover at some point. A lot of first appearances or just episodes that are just exceptionally well done, like just fun, memorable ones, like Return of the Shredder.
Yeah,
I think me and Nathan both, like, anytime the episode came on TV, it was a big fucking deal. Like, it's just Shredder.
Yeah.
Recruiting a local karate dojo to be his own, masquerading as Ninja Turtles in paper bags. But it was a great episode as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome.
And there are a ton of silly ones, but still very fun in their own weird way. It's fuck, man, it's just an amazing show all around. I mean, granted, the longer it goes on, the worse it gets. But you can say that about a lot of shows. But.
And there's ones that I would go back and rewatch because when I first saw them, I'm like, oh, that's horrible. Like when I first saw the Flash show up, I thought, oh my god, it looks nothing like the toy, and he's like fucking dumb. I was like, this sucks, And when I saw that Ground Chuck and Dirtbag were teaming up, but then they make him sound like really Southern and like Texan, I'm like, oh man. And I went back and watched them, like. Actually, I enjoyed it a lot more than than what I remembered, and it was more accepting of their portrayals because by that point the villains are definitely much more lighthearted, but it was still cool because those two characters came out at the same time in the toy line, and I loved them both, and I had both figures, so I'm like, that's why they're on this T-shirt here too that Ren did for me. I love
Link down below if it's
Yeah.
still up on the shop.
Yeah, right there. And Ground Chuck and Dirtbag,
Yes.
Triceratops Slash, Baxter, and Leatherhead at the bottom there.
Yeah, it's a kick-ass shirt.
It's my favorite of the villains of the show. I still need to do one of like Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, Krang, but these guys were the toys. The characters I just thought looked so fucking cool. I just thought that it doesn't get any cooler than these guys here. This 6.
I had put in the chat a little bit ago. If you got questions, load them up. So I'll just, as I said there, if any of you haven't done so yet, if you're not paying attention to the chat itself, go ahead and toss some questions. We do have 2 already. It's coming from Philippe. Who's your favorite TMNT side character and why?
It's a toss up between Usagi and Casey. It has
Yeah.
been since I was a kid. I had such an affection for both those characters as a kid. I had no idea Usagi was a separate character. I thought for years he was a turtle character. Had no idea he was pulled from Stan Sakai's comic book, which is a great comic book, by the way.
Yeah. You actually own the first issue of that.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Little jellies.
Oh, I think Nathan, you'd really like it. It's a great comic. People die in it, but it's not. It's black and white, and it's drawn fun and well. And
I thought about picking up an omnibus just to get like a good chunk of issues and checking that out. But mine would be Casey Jones without a doubt. The 1990 movie pretty much set that in motion. Period.
Yeah.
Even though
I do have his first appearance too. I can't remember if I ever told you I did buy it.
You did buy it. All right.
I did buy it. I had to pay,
Tyler gifted me that for it was birthday or Christmas. Fuck.
I think it was birthday. I think.
I want to say it was birthday.
Yeah.
I'm glad you finally got around to buying that.
I got that cheap too, man. When I bought that, it was like, oh my god,
this
is such a deal for this thing.
That brings up, let's see. This is so back from earlier. My favorite iteration being the original 4 issues and one-shot version of Raph.
Yeah, which was the first appearance of Casey Jones.
Yeah, that's
which is a great comic. Yeah.
Question from Oliver Belmont. Any thoughts on the last Ronin comic series that revealed Michelangelo as the lone survivor, plus the tragic ends of Mikey's family and Casey Jones?
I read the first issue. I enjoyed it, but it took so long for the other issues that came out, and I got tired of waiting or not knowing when it was coming out. Because I had it reserved, right? And I just was like, fuck it. And I just lost interest in it.
Now might be the time to
because it's complete, it's done. They redoing figures of it and everything.
Yeah, pick it up and give it a read. Same boat. Mine wasn't so much the impatience. I just forgot about it because I guess with the time in between, that's something I needed to finish reading. But I really enjoyed that first issue.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Art was cool, and I had a feeling it was like it's gonna be Michelangelo. I just had this kind of gut feeling.
Yeah, which, much as we talked about, sort of the least expected. Yeah, right. Coming to the forefront. I'm sure you also saw the news. I think they're wanting to turn it into live action, do a live action version of that. I'm like, all right, well, if you're going to just strictly adapt it from this, sure, don't take any liberties.
That's the thing. They always do that. They always say, we're going to adapt this. No, you're not. You're going
to if they stick to that, then they have a potential on their hands.
But if Seth Rogen's going to be like, we'll make him a stoner, it'll be great.
Not so much a question, but there is a comment here from Sobek. I love how Kevin Eastman went bonkers with his Turtles money and bought a tank, then started up Tundra Comics, where he basically paid a bunch of artists to just do what they wanted. It's interesting the dynamic between Laird and Eastman.
Peter, yeah,
how their philosophy on the Turtles was very different, and that ultimately led to them not really talking to each other for a while.
Which I think where Kevin stuck with it, but he stuck with it through all these shitty versions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, a part of me is like, well, you're kind of part of the problem, man.
Well, even in the 60 Minutes Australia thing that you sent me, and as we've seen in other documentaries, Peter was just like, Eastman did this. I took that and made my own version of it. It's like, all right, from the onset, you guys are already sort of in two different places with this. But fuck, man, you think about just that idea that neither one of them could really get much work, and they just come up with this idea, and Kevin's like, a Ninja Turtle. It's an oxymoron, right? Because a ninja is supposed to be really fast and turtles are really slow. So doing that, and look what they fucking did. That's amazing.
And it was cool to know that the buddies who were designing characters, like if they could design a character for Playmates, they were allowed to just keep the profits of that character being sold. Like you made that is yours. We're not taking any. They did a lot of wonderful things, that when in its heyday, it sounded like those guys. You couldn't have been happier for those guys for what they gave to us and the benefits they got from it. To this day, this property is never going to go away. It will still keep going, and I'm glad about that. It may not be the best iterations, but at least I still got this version. I got the '90s film and the 2002. So at least I got 3 iterations of in the 2007 movie, which is still enjoyable.
I'm glad that you say that because it applies to everything. Like, it's no matter what is done with these properties, if it's fucking terrible or it's not like the other shit's going away, so it's still there. And Tyler, you got to keep that in mind. Take your own advice.
I could take my own advice if I knew they were going to, keep trying to make better and newer versions of He-Man and She-Ra, and not just, oh well, the audience wasn't there, so we didn't gay it up enough for them. I guess they just didn't like it or whatever the fuck. It's just like if they kept making more He-Man, all right, that one didn't work. Let's try it again. Because at least to Hasbro's credit, they keep doing it with Transformers. Most of them suck, but they keep trying, and at least they keep acknowledging the Generation 1 fans. But at least with the toys and stuff like that.
That Transformers 1 looks like garbage. I don't want to delve too much in the newer stuff. I will say this, we'll move on to the next question. While I liked that Turtles movie that came out last year, they made an animated series based off of that. I watched a little bit of the first episode and I was like, oh well, I don't it didn't necessarily click with me too well. So and that happens, and you know what?
Well, I don't really feel like this new reiteration has really stuck it out. I think the series was a product of like, well, we did a movie, we'll have a series based on this look and feel. And I think I don't even have to be, that into the know to feel like, okay, I don't think this has really had an impact. I think we can tell pretty quickly, okay, remember how that one iteration after the 2012 series. They
Rise
back. Yeah, and that came and went like a fart in the wind with the toys and everything, and no one gave a fuck. You can clearly tell this is not working. Try it again. Yeah, but they'll keep trying.
The movie did well. The cartoon is sort of still up in the air, but I will say, I feel like personally the 2012 Turtles toy wise sold way better. I remember those sold. All right. Here's a question from Fedmon. Interesting question here. How well do you think the 2012 TMNT series handled the crossover with the 80s Turtles versus the 2002 version of the crossover?
Yeah, the 2002 version was just about shitting on the original series. Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
2012 did a decent enough job. Was it perfect? No, but compared to what the 2002 show did,
extreme version of Turtles.
Yeah, it was way better than that.
The only thing I'll say positive about the 2002 series was that the animation looked good. I just didn't care for the stories and the voice acting.
Question from Philippe: a favorite TMNT vintage toy vehicle? He's saying Pizza Thrower is a classic.
That was a classic. I never owned it, but it was. I remember seeing the commercials for it, and a buddy in childhood had it.
Man,
God, there were so many. Like, we're only given one because I feel like there's others. You have accessories and small play sets and large play sets.
Man, Turtle Blimp would be up there.
That would be up there.
I mean, even the Turtle Trooper, with the parachute.
The parachute.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I like that, and not just because I had it, but it was, and it's in the Turtles in Time video game. Was the foot ski, which I remember getting that for Christmas. Christmas 1990. That was one of the few vehicles me and my brother ever got.
Yeah. Foot ski's good. The Foot Cruiser's fucking cool.
Foot Cruiser was cool.
I mean, Pizza Thrower's amazing.
Yeah, and the turtle blimp is such an it's beyond iconic. It's like Battle Cat for He-Man. Like there's
The
something about that blimp.
the sewer army tube, I would use that in the bathtub a lot. Actually,
The
it was like
like
the little inner tube.
inner tubes. Okay,
They
yeah,
had
me
the
and my brother,
camo.
we each had one of those. Yeah, yeah. Those were cool. I like those.
It's probably the lamest one, but I got it for Christmas that night. Christmas 19. I want to say it was 90 or 91, and took it to show and tell the Killer Bee.
You know, I had no idea that thing even existed until I was an adult. Like, what the hell is this? And like, turns out it was an.
Oh
actual
wait,
toy
no,
action.
my bad. I'm stupid.
The mosquito.
Yeah, needle nose. Yeah.
Needle nose. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Sorry, I'm looking at the list here. And I was like, oh wait, yeah, no, not Killer Bee. I'm an idiot. Needle nose. Mutant Module, of course, is that's fucking
Which
classic.
that's such an it's like the Collector and He-Man. Like it's such an iconic vehicle that was used so much. Yeah, and it never had that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
It was
hard.
more about the actual figures, but I feel like it was the more accessible item because they were cheaper,
Yeah,
and I was more drawn to I want Triceraton, I want Chrome Dome, I want Scumbug. You know,
I'm gonna go with the blimp.
yeah,
It's an odd choice because when you think about it, it's weird to play with compared to the other ones. But there's just something like
yeah.
you said,
Because I never had
visually.
it. I knew people who did have it, and it was just something that was like, oh my god, the turtle blimp. It was, I think, especially when it debuts in the final episode of the first season, when you have Krang's body comes alive,
Yeah,
it comes in. It's just a big part of that episode. It makes it a lot more epic, you know, with this introduction for what it's used for. So I even when the turtle blimp is used multiple times throughout the series, when you would see that episode, at least for me, it was still exciting to see the turtle blimp come into action, taking on Krang like it's Godzilla.
yeah.
You know, so I would probably have to say turtle blimp too. Yeah,
Copy of me being a wiener.
I said turtle blimp earlier.
Yeah, well, sure. Not so much a question, more of a comment. Oliver Belmont, 2019 Batman versus TMNT animated film was a delight to see. It was interesting to see Batman fighting the Shredder as the Turtles fought Batman's deadliest foe, Ra's al Ghul. I gotta pee. I'm sure you're
Okay.
like, I gotta pee too, right?
I do. I'll wait till you get back.
All right, you talk about this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Me and Nathan both had to like blind buy it because I think when it came out, it was available like to buy on iTunes. So we both bought it. I liked it. I have yet to go back and rewatch it. I mean, the animation looked good. I wasn't too keen on because I heard about the concept in the comic books. I'm like the art looks fine, but I was like I don't know. I want to see like Batman's villains become mutants. It just kind of seems like it seems kind of lazy. But and I did feel like they kind of made sure that Batman was vastly superior to the Turtles, which when you're doing stories like this, you want to feel like that they're kind of both on the same ground. And I felt like there was a time where everyone just wants to act like Batman was better than everybody. Like no matter what it was, Batman's better. And it's like let's not turn him into Chuck Norris where he becomes a joke. At least that's kind of how I was looking at it. But it was a good film. I thought, it was fun, but I just haven't had the desire to go back and revisit it. Not that it was bad. It was fun for what it was, but not that I felt compelled to go back and check it out again or even read the comic. Because I was telling them, Nathan, I didn't like the concept of like Mr. Freeze becomes a polar bear and this guy becomes this. I was like, dude, this is like, come on, man. Like, we really going to do this? Why can't it just be like a fun crime story? Of, like, the Turtles?
Mutagen. Because Mutagen. I thought the movie kicked ass. I liked it a lot. I think go back and revisit it. Maybe you'll have a different opinion about it.
Possibly. All right. Well, you give your perspective.
I think it's funny. We're just like we're like the middle school girls that go to the bathroom together.
I can't help. I drink a lot of water.
Oh man! If you guys get any more questions, go ahead and toss them in here. We'll take a couple more. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. Call it an early night, so Tyler because Tyler's really looking forward to going to bed. I'm looking forward to just hanging out and melting into my couch and relaxing because it's been a long week. He's had a long week too. Work's been just like on us. One thing I will say, I'll go ahead and plug it. This Sunday, there's not going to be a topic, but episode 400 of Fans of Power. Can't believe we've made it this far. 400 whole episodes. So it's pretty much just going to be us looking back, reflecting. We'll share some videos of earlier episodes and see how we've evolved over time, and check that out, and just have a good time and take all the questions from the chat as we go along. We won't make it like the end segment thing. We'll just take questions, reminisce, have some laughs like we always do. But episode 400, it's kind of crazy. We probably would have been further along. Let me mute Tyler's mic because I think it's giving an echo there where he's got so close. We probably would have been either completely done with the show at this point, or like episode 700 by now if we hadn't branched off and started doing other things like we have been doing. Oh yeah, Fedmon's got a good question there in terms of Ninja Turtles. And another question that I'll go ahead and I don't even know why I'm starting them. I could just save them there, man. Tyler, what is he, a camel? Hopefully someone gets that quote. Tyler would get it if I said it to him. But yeah, oh man, 400. And now that I'll have to like pinpoint when I started really producing the show with these guys. There we go.
I was going to ask you too, which I feel like I've discussed this with you before. I don't know if on the podcast, but do you remember, and for our listeners too?
Wait, your mic went out.
Oh,
I don't
shit.
know. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
There. All right. What was the question?
The Bonkers Candy tie-in with Ninja Turtle stickers back in 1989.
Bonkers Candy tie-in.
Yeah.
Send me an image on Messenger if you got it.
Okay.
I'll look at it.
Yeah.
Fedmon had a question here when it comes to TMNT games. What is your preference? NES or SNES? You Super Nintendo?
SNES. Turtles in Time all day. I love the Manhattan Project.
And 2, the arcade game was good.
Yeah, but I remember as a kid, Turtles in Time, the arcade game was so fucking hard.
Dude,
it was easier than the first Turtles game that came out.
Oh yeah. The first Turtles game is just it's hard and it's not
fun.
It's
because it's all you knew, but
yeah.
Here you go.
It's
I want these stickers on a T-shirt, man. These images, they're so fucking cool. And there was a bunch of them.
You know what? Yeah, I think I do remember these.
Yeah.
I'll save it and put it on here and show it on
Yeah,
screen.
I'll send it. Here's like a collection of like all of them.
Man, so obviously Turtles in Time is the best of those games.
Yeah. Tournament Fighters was a blast too.
Tournament Fighters is good.
I like that a lot.
But Turtles 2, the arcade game, tons of
you got special nostalgia for that particular
game. Getting that game because I did well on my report card, playing that game with my dad co-op and getting to Shredder at the end, but we died, and then I went on the run of my life solo one night, beat the game. That was the first time I had ever beaten a video game. And I won, and I remember holding the controller and I just started shaking, and I dropped the controller and I darted in the living room, and I was like, I almost couldn't get the words out. I beat it. And Dad's like, oh, you did. And then he came in, we watched the end game screen. So yes. And Manhattan Project's a fucking great follow-up. That said, Turtles in Time is the one that I go back to.
Yeah,
more
me
often
too.
than not. So I will say Super Nintendo. Oh yeah, all right, yeah. I'll definitely show this one off instead of the first one you sent, since it's the whole collection. So this is the ones that Tyler is talking about. Pop that on the screen. Oh yeah,
yeah. And these were packed in one sticker per pack, but they were advertised on the wrapping. And summer of 1989, being in Myrtle Beach and getting these. I don't remember which ones. I think I had the group shot, the one up top, and some of the individual turtle stickers. But it was this. It's classic card art style. images I would love to see on T-shirts. Which there's a couple of guys. There's one guy on TeePublic has this images very similar to these that I just need to break down and get one day.
Yeah.
But I just love this classic. It's kind of rough around the edges, but it's.
Why did they put Raph with the skateboard?
It makes no sense. I don't know, but I guess
that's interesting.
That
April O'Neil is looking rough, buddy.
She's definitely by far the most of like.
That's
the worst. Yeah, it's the worst. All the others are fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, like all the villains look fun. Shredder looks amazing.
Yeah.
All in shadow there. The Turtle Blam, the Party Wagon.
That's kick ass. I like those.
Yeah, those are awesome. Yeah.
They're rough, but they look cool.
It's just like like I said, the classic box art and card of the original Turtles line. The Turtles look a little rough. The villains are. It's not super fine, but it was badass still at the same time.
Hope you. Tyler's gonna roll his eyes. Question from Femon: will Joe eat something awful and weird for the 400?
We're not going to encourage Joe doing weird shit. He does that on his own enough as it is. So no.
If it's episode 400, Joe has to drink a jar of Alfredo sauce.
No,
for old times' sake.
Old times. No, he clearly took a joke and it's just we didn't mean drink the fucking thing. It was just it was a joke from Mr. Science Theater, and he, as opposed to just taking a sip and like, oh, it's gross. Like, no, I'll just keep drinking. No, you moron! And he just what did he do? Made himself sick.
Yeah, I think
the things he will do for people to watch him. Like, you're here, Joe. You got their attention. You don't need to keep drinking fucking Alfredo sauce for the attention there, bud.
Johnny Cox says, Nathan, have you checked out the Gamera movies? If not, definitely check out the 3 from the 90s. You know what? I will do that. I will check out the 3 from the 90s. I don't think I've watched. Is that the? Did Mr. Science Theater cover any of them and change the name?
Yep.
Was the first one?
I'm not sure which one, but they covered one of them, I think.
They covered one or a couple of them, but
I know that Mike Nelson with Bill Corbett, like the Sci-Fi years, covered at least one of them.
Yeah,
I don't know if the Joel years they covered more than one or not.
Have a look. I think they came out with a box set. Actually,
I think they did too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a few of them. So that would have been the only way that I've watched them. But I will check out the ones from the 90s because those 90 ones really up the ante with everything. Let's see. What do we got here? Gary Buchanan saying, I've been watching Silverhawks and Turtles on Cartoon this week.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's something me and Nathan, we need to throw in an episode of Silverhawks or something. We have never, ever touched on that, I think most of the group.
Yeah, I think we've done Silverhawks.
Yes,
we did.
On Capes and Commentaries. We did cover an episode of Silverhawks.
Yeah, we did. Here's another question from Philippe. Do you guys remember the TMNT Hostess cakes? I remember begging my mom for those. I do, and I wish they'd fucking bring them back. Why have they not brought those back?
I'm kind of surprised, especially as many times they keep bringing back Turtles on TV and movies, but they've not done any tie-ins with any of the classic, ice cream bars or those cakes or the cookies.
And Sobek said, was there cereal too? Yes. Yeah. I think I remember having TMNT cereal. It was like Captain Crunch. Yes. I remember eating the cereal. I'll pull up the box.
I remember the cookies. That's what I remember having. That and the Chef Boyardee tie-in fucking sucked because they tasted nasty.
Yeah, the Chef Boyardee
awful.
The Chef Boyardee was bad.
It was like the little microwavable bowls. Yeah, with turtle shapes. It was fucking terrible. It was heartbreaking.
Let's save this.
It was just like it's the worst day ever.
Save this from image from eBay. I could probably find like a closer up one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it had the marshmallows. It's pretty much like marshmallow.
Like Ghostbuster cereal was the same way too. Yeah.
I mean, I look at that. I look at the Batman cereal, and I can remember how it tastes.
I tried Ghostbusters because I hated cereal, but I really wanted Ghostbusters because it's Ghostbusters and marshmallows, and I like the marshmallows are terrible, and I like this is just
Can we unpack that for a second? You are a kid that doesn't like cereal.
I ate Fruity Pebbles for a very short time as a kid. That was it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was all about waffles, French toast, bacon, and eggs. Cereal was it was all soggy mess in a bowl. I'm like, this is nasty.
You just eat it dry like I did.
Well, I would do that with Fruity Pebbles sometimes, but I just like, I'm tired of this shit. I need biscuits and bacon. I need waffles and syrup and French toast. Give me some eggs, some scrambled eggs.
French toast.
Yeah, fucking French toast.
I know. I always think about in 40-Year-Old Virgin when he's driving Leslie.
That's what
Mann.
I was talking about. I just
okay.
referenced it. Yeah.
Oh well.
She needs some fucking French toast.
All right. Yeah.
By the way, she plays a hooker in Last Man Standing.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Leslie Mann. Yeah.
Yeah. Gary Buchanan is asking a question about the Silverhawk shirt. Is Yes Man on the shirt Ren made for you?
No, mainly because at the time I only paid for 4 characters. It was Molecular, Mumbo Jumbo, Buzzsaw, and Poker Face. But my idea for another one, which was going to get Monster on it, Yes Man is going to be on that one. It's just Yes Man, Windhammer, Melodia, Monstar, and I might put on one of the others, like Molecular or a Mumbo Jumbo on there, double up. Because I just, I got to get another one on this so I get Monster on. But at the time, it was just the first one I had done, and I just, I'll just go with these 4. I can afford to pay for 6 characters, whereas back then I was like, man, I don't know, I guess I could afford that. It's, and plus Ren's very flexible with it.
I think at this point, Ren cut you a deal, or is he already cutting you a deal?
Well, he should cut me a deal considering how long he makes me wait.
Also, speaking of which, the reason Tyler is waiting, link down below for that Kickstarter. Go fund that.
Oh yeah.
Last I looked, I think was a couple days ago. It was already halfway funded. So go check that out. Kick some money their way. Get this thing going. Johnny Cock. Those Pizza Hut school reading programs. Book it, motherfucker.
Book it. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? 5? You had to read 5 books in order to get it. Yeah. Personal pan. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that was a big fucking deal, man. And I didn't give a shit about any of those books. They were always bullshit.
Same. Books. I didn't give a fuck about them. I'm like, yeah, I read it. Where's the pizza?
Where's the fucking pizza? And it had to go on Tuesdays, wasn't it? Wasn't it Tuesdays? You had to go on Tuesdays.
Yeah, it was like specific days.
Yeah.
Part of me thought it was like Tuesday and Thursday or some shit. I'm like, why not a Friday, man?
Yeah, where it's like the weekend's here. I'm gonna play some arcade games and get my free pizza.
Book it.
Yeah, book it. Yeah.
You had like the big ass fucking badge.
The big button there.
Yeah, the big button
and the stars that would
that they would put on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it was never books that you'd be proud and happy about. It was always like some bullshit, story that you would never check out of the library, like on your own.
Bridge of Terabithia, fuck you.
Yeah. Like you couldn't read like a Ninja Turtles like kids book.
No, it had to actually be like a real book.
Yeah, like fucking Shiloh or something like that, or
Sucked, man. I did read I read James and the Giant Peach. For one of them.
Yeah, I never read that. I saw the movie, of course. The movie was great, but I don't know, reading back then, unless it was something based on a cartoon or a character, like I didn't get 2 shits about reading. I would bullshit through reading as a kid. I remember 3rd grade, like I remember just going look at the page and going like this, the page, like, yeah, I finished it. It's done. I didn't give a fuck.
No, most of that shit wouldn't fly because I think there was a thing that we had with it. If you're doing book it and you're reading they had like a list.
Yeah.
That we had to pick from, and then
I think it was.
And, then it was pretty much just like you had to like fucking write a little bit about it to make sure that they knew that you read it. I'm like, man, fuck you. I just want my pizza.
Yeah. I think with the book, like you had no choice. If you wanted that pizza, you had
to earn it. Yeah.
Whereas like I would bullshit through some of the other stuff. I remember 3rd grade doing that specifically. But for book it, I remember, I couldn't tell you what I had to read, but I remember actually reading it, proving that I had read it. So I just get that free pizza. It was all about that free personal pan cheese pizza from the local pizza downtown.
You, pepperoni, bud.
I like pepperoni, but not as a kid. I was all about all cheese, extra cheese.
Oh my god,
cheese all day. Man.
What a weird kid! Like cheese pizza, no cereal.
No vegetables.
No wonder you turned out the way you did.
I'm pretty fucking proud of how I turned out. And I still don't eat vegetables.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Fucking
So back
nasty.
coming out of their shells, Johnny. I wanted that VHS from Pizza Hut so bad.
I did too, and I never got to see it until Nathan showed it to me.
I didn't get the VHS. I got the cassette tape, and I got the poster, the promotional poster, which I found like randomly through the packed away in boxes. Not that long. It was like when I moved to this house and I went and was rummaging for other shit, found the poster. I'm like, all right, well, I got to frame that and hang it up in the room. So
It's much like the Power Tour with He-Man. It's not great by any means.
It's not good at all, but
it's just an iconic part of that time where a big
Turtle Mania,
has,
baby.
Yeah, and when a big property has a traveling road show, and it's always about singing. You know, why? But thank God Mortal Kombat wasn't pushing songs and they're traveling a road tour.
It'd be funny though if it did.
God. Like Jax and Liu Kang have a duet together.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Febmon. So Super 7 Silverhawks New Wave thoughts, release the rage if needed. Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah,
it sucks.
It's what Super 7 does best. It's just variants. Why did you do that to begin with?
Yep. So it's like, oh, I spent my money on these already, and you're gonna put out the thing that like everyone wanted from the start. And it's like, well, I'm not gonna double dip at this point.
No,
so
and I'm like, I don't know why Super 7 still to this day, all these years later, insists on, well, we make our money on variants. We need people to buy $60 figures multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when they charge you $60 for fucking Snarf,
yeah,
you know, it's just like, and they want you to pay the same price for Snarfer.
Yeah,
and in another shitty way, it's like, you know, what happened to releasing more? You know,
At this point too, like I'm not even pre-ordering them when they announce like the other characters. I just wait until they come out and then I just order them because they're not selling out.
And they're still available. God, it takes forever for these Super 7 figures, from Turtles to Thundercats to Silverhawks, Toxic Crusaders. Like they don't sell out because they're so fucking expensive. But people will buy the Mondo stuff, which is vastly more expensive,
but it comes out quicker.
Yeah. Super 7 takes fucking forever with everything they do.
Yeah. Garrett Buchanan. Do you think the art and the jokes are better on Silverhawks compared to Thundercats? Seems funnier.
The art and the jokes?
Yeah. Do the jokes hit better with Silverhawks than they do on Thundercats?
I really don't see like a lot of. I mean, I guess the humorous moments, like I mean, they're not. I don't roll my eyes, but I don't like slap my knee, like Gary Hash. Jokes at Thundercats, like there's some fun moments, but I'm like they don't make me laugh or anything like that. They don't take you out of the moment for the most part.
Yeah, but they're just not those JT knee slappers.
No, I feel like the tone's pretty consistent with Thunderhawks. So Silverhawks and Thundercats. Because I mean Thundercats I think is definitely a better written show. But Silverhawks, I feel like there's so much fun with Silverhawks, but I feel like there's something they could do so much more with that concept that is, as I've talked about it before too, with the mob actually being like a full on like mafia, and the Silverhawks. I mean that's what they are. They're space police, but I'm like there's so much fun to be had with Monstar running illegal gambling outside their limits and doing all these it's just there's so many cool things to be done there too, and it's just they're crazy. And you got characters like Flashback, who's a Silverhawk from the future. So fucking cool, man. I fucking love Silverhawks. That's something that just doesn't get talked enough. All the taxi, I don't like the taxi driver either. He's obnoxious. He's supposed to be funny, and he's not. But he's not like the scientists in New Adventures of He-Man. Those guys are fucking, I'm ready to strangle all of them. Taxi driver, he's lame. He's very lame. But I'm like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a joke that's just not funny. But it's not like Seth Rogen humor or where everything's just stupid. So you just stone laugh at everything. with your buddy James Franco.
No, they're not friends anymore.
Well, fuck both of them.
I
don't like James Franco. He sucks in everything. He's a shitty Harry Osborn, and And he sucked in Planet of the Apes too. He's got a face that just want to.
I could tell that Tyler is tired because he's starting he's powering down a little bit.
I'm like, it's James Franco, like him and Seth Rogen. I hate both of them. They just.
I like Seth Rogen as a person. Some of his stuff's pretty good. Not all of it's great, but I don't know. I don't mind him. I don't hate him like you do. Well,
I wouldn't want to hang out with him.
We will leave it with that final question there. I hope everyone enjoyed us checking out Turtles again. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and always make sure to ring that bell so you get notified when we go live. And until next time, we will see you in the future to talk about the past.
You don't make no sense. It's a service in this motherfucker. Bitch, do you see us?
No, keep going. I know what it is. Go ahead.
No, I keep fucking that one up.
It doesn't matter. Do it how you want to do it. It's fine.
I want two sausage patties, 2 sausage links, split down in the middle twice. I want skillet fried, smush fried, and 1 waffle. I think. I
thought he said dome fried.
I thought dome fried, skillet fried, smush fried. Fuck.
It's Black Dynamite. I need to watch that. I need to revisit.
Joe would have it memorized.
I need to revisit Black Dynamite's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I love Tommy Davis in anything, and him as Cream Corn, like that just made the movie for me even more.
Cream Corn, no.
Yeah. Cream Corn. Him with his long ass hair.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
And I mean, it used to be in the Something Different intro. I think what I'll do is get Rebecca to switch the Goon part. Even though I love Goon. So I will have the slap shot. They brought their fucking toys with them. And then, do that shit before I walked in the room.
That was good. I need to have mine swapped out because we've had the same.
Yeah, we need to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, change it up a little bit too. Anything about what to use? I guess
There's so much.
Yeah,
you could use Casey Jones. Come back here, lawbreaker. I don't know. There's just so much stuff.
Oh yeah, or maybe I could get like a Clint Eastwood like line too, or just I mean, if not Casey Jones, then use him talking about a lot of things happen to dog shit. You can get squashed, stepped on, but you'll see that in Sudden Impact.
I'm looking forward to it. Oh man! All right. Well, we will see. I
can get a line from Grant Turner. Shut up, pussy.
Yeah, that'd be great for the intro. Probably not that one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you were in the bathroom when I was talking about this, but we will catch all of you in a couple nights for Fans of Power 400.
So please have good questions for us, not just observations and weird things for Joe to shove up his ass,
or in his mouth,
or anything else. Let's keep it as fun.
But see, now that we've put that out there, if there's something,
but Joe will do it for all you got to do is just ask him to do it, but don't do it on the podcast. Just reach out to him and ask him, would you mind sticking this in your mouth or in your ass? Like, sure, send it to me for free. I'll do it.
It's just not on camera, so there's no evidence.
And then he'll open up and tell you like, this is from Shrinky Dink from Toledo, Ohio. I'm gonna shove this up my ass.
Shrinky Dinks.
Yeah.
God. Well, yeah, we'll see you for Fans of Power 400 this Sunday.